A very good morning to you. How are you doing? My name is Grace Muthoni, and welcome to Alphamas Media, where we are telling you the story of the African farmer, one story at a day or one story at a time. Welcome. I'm glad you could join us, and welcome to the Breakfast Show. And as it is a show that comes to you every single day from Monday to Friday, from 8 all the way to 10 a.m. in the morning. And today it's no different because we have something that we need to look into, something that we need to talk about so that you can know how best to go on as farmers, as well as attracting or at least learning a few things here and there. Remember that this show, you can always catch it later in case you get caught up in the middle of it, or should you be having any questions about any other program you've watched so far so good, or something that you did not feel like is settled well with you, something you might have said, or it could be simply you want to seek help, or you are looking to us to help you become the best farmer that you can be. You can reach out to us. We are on Facebook at A Farmers, as well as YouTube at A Farmers Media. Reach out to us, and we will a response will be sent to you in real time, and your needs will be taken care of. Now, welcome aboard. We'll be here for the next 1 hour 30 minutes. But before we get there, um, let us talk about something that is really disturbing in this country, and it is that wave of COVID-19. Yeah. Now that barriers have taken, the 3 day precedence, as in once you lose someone to COVID-19, you're just given 3 days to at least bury them, and it's a rush. It's a rush decision for most of us, since our cultures, probably require us to mourn, to shangisha pesa, try and celebrate the life of this person before we bury them, probably taking from 5 days, others to a week, others to 2 weeks, and it goes on, right? But hey, times have changed, and so are we going to change, yes. However, the reason as to why I'm talking about the death of the barriers is because it is very sudden. It's very sad when we lose people due to complications that are brought about by COVID-19. And you see, I told you, you don't want to start breathing with aid or with help. You need to start breathing on your own. So keep it there if you're breathing on your own. You don't want to be on the other side of receiving oxygen. It is not pretty. You don't want to lose your sense of smell, your sense of taste. It is not a pretty sight. Trust you me, it is not so. So that you and I can remain on this side that we're on. If you are capable of having the COVID-19 jab, please take it. It's a vaccine. It's a vaccine. It won't harm you. If anything, it will protect you. It will put a barrier between you and the virus. However, once you get the jab or the vaccine, it does not mean that you become reckless. No, it just means that you will need to still continue taking care of yourself, because imagine if you and I take care of each other, and the people around us will have raised a whole community of warriors who won't be, and this virus won't get anywhere to continue dancing on or from, right? Exactly. So kindly let us follow the 3 guidelines that have been provided by the Ministry of Health in conjunction with the government of Kenya, and those are wearing your face mask over your face, your mouth, and your nose. Yes, and still on the same, make sure that you sanitize, and if you can get a hand washing point, all the better, because even once you keep sanitizing, at some point you'll need to go and clean your hands, right? Exactly. And then the third one is making sure that between you and the next person, there is a distance of about 1.5 meters to 2 meters. It does not get any better than that or any easier. It is just as simple as that, and this virus will soon not have anywhere to dance or anyone to affect. Are we together? Is the right? Yes. Now I'll keep reminding you that because it is important, it is vital for you and for me. And remember, our kids are home, yeah? Our siblings are home, our babies are home, and we need to also make sure they are taken care of, right? Exactly. And then they don't do what you say, they do what you do. Mm. It's monkey see, monkey do. But hey, everything's gonna be all right when you and I take care of each other. Now, before we get into what we are supposed to be talking about, cool. By the way, kwenye kumenyesha, how is the rain affecting you? So far so good, eh? Matope kibao hivi, right? Kabaridi. Anyway, make sure you also stay warm, because there's a cold, there's a very bad flu that is going on or going around, you want to keep away from it because trust you me, I've been there, done that. It is not a good thing. But hey, keep taking warm fluids, some warm water from time to time, some warm tea or hot coffee, whatever gets you through the day. Keep taking warm fluids, and yeah, you will keep this home at bay, right? Now let us look at traffic for the guys wanaingia mjini, that is the capital city of Nairobi. Bonyela road roundabout kuna jam kiasi all the way up until hapo ni Tidobi, but then soon after you should be moving smoothly. We also have Ngong Road roundabout kuna jam kiasi, but after there mtakuwa sawa. University of Nairobi hapo roundabout kuna traffic kiasi, but hey, after there you're right. GPU Kenyatta Avenue, that roundabout, and Uhuru Highway halfway kuna jam kidogo, but hey guys, you'll be alright. Other than that, hey, hadi Jagora kuna jam. I'm telling you, people are moving. So guys, that is how your traffic is looking. In case you are going into town or you are planning to check into town later, that is how your traffic is looking, but we'll keep looking at traffic from time to time so that you can know ni wapi kwa kuhepa na ni wapi kwa kuenda, si ndio? All right, so let us continue looking at things that are now interesting to us, and that is farming. And today I want us to look at climate change and agriculture. Mm-hmm. Exactly. You remember yesterday as we were beginning the broadcast, the live broadcast, I told you it was raining. And it took about less than 5 minutes for it to rain and stop abrupt. Even to, I don't even know how. And remember at this point, or at this point in time, we're supposed to be receiving the heavy rains, right? Because we receive rains twice a year, right? But the reason is the long rains. It's not heavy rains, but the long rains. But today's the last day of March, and it just began raining last week. Last week I think it rained once. This week is rained almost every night, but not for too long because in the morning you can still walk. There's not too much mud, and I'm worried. Kwani kunanyesha wapi? Because sijaona mvua for a whole month. Sijaona mvua. Sijaona. It's supposed to be in March, April, and kidogo May, right? March imeisha. I've only seen rain like 3 times. I'm worried. Kwenye kunanyesha, and how is it raining? Is it too much rain at once, or is it rain that inanyesha in 2 hours, in after every 2 hours, or is it like last weekend in Naivasha they had a hailstorm? I mean, I don't get it. It is crazy, And right now we are supposed to be kuna food inafaa kuwa inangoja hii maji kwa shamba, but it's not raining. So I'm worried. Why is it raining? Because let's be honest, it's not a good thing. But during these rains, we even hear of places that's in a flood. We've seen our very own CBD, barabara maji in a jar, and people have to now start kubebo kwa mkokoteni, ferrying from one side to the other of the town. It is not good sight, but maybe when it rains, we're like, at least kuna chakula kwa shamba inapata maji, and we know maybe we won't starve so much, or at least we won't have to skip 2 meals a day, maybe just one, right? But hey, Miss sijui kunanyesha wapi. If your place is raining, can you tell us? Would like to know. Because I haven't seen rain and I'm worried. As a farmer, I'm worried. I'm really worried. And for the rest of you farmers, or the rest of us farmers, we are worried because now again it means everything changes. It means we will need to start irrigating, the artificial ones. We will need to connect water through boreholes or something like that. I mean, it is scary. So if your place is raining, let me know. I might come there. Well, hopefully, iko within the 5 counties. The one area county, I hope iko within Konjure. I can come and just, enjoy rain. I miss when it would rain during the day. I know it is. I know traffic and everything now that cafe is at 8. Yes, please. I know, but hey, don't you miss it too? I do. But hey, it's all right. Let us see now how we can work around that climate change as farmers in the 254 as well as around the continent. Now, climate change and variability are major threats to agricultural sector. It is widely accepted that the changes in temperature, rainfall patterns, seawater level, and concentration of air in the atmosphere will have the most devastating impacts on production. Exactly, because now climate change is here. Temperatures equal to every other. I can't until this morning. I haven't worn a really warm sweater. Like it's warm. It's gotta be warm. Yeah, nothing can just get through. It was this morning. I know. I know since last year, I think in November, and I'm worried. It's about 5 months now, and ah, at 9 late actually at 7 a.m. The hotness that is in the air. I'm even worried. Kwani hii jua hai? Kwani you know you know the way you can get tired, right? You understand it? Mm-hmm. Hadi nashanga kwani jua nani ameituma ama nani wanawasha hii jua hivi because anafaa anze kutoatoa kuni. It is too hot, and that is just one of the effects of climate change, and we need both temperature not too high again, not extremely low for production of food crops, right? And that is being affected. We also have a change in rainfall patterns, like I'm saying. Hey, I think I am in the wrong country, or maybe I'm in Mars. Who knows? Because it is not raining the way it's supposed to. Mind you, it is the season of long rains, so I'm worried. I'm totally, completely worried. I'm saying, if you live within the 5 counties that have been pronounced as 1 6 zone, or that's one zone, please kwenye kunanyesha akiniambia ni wapi, we will come. I promise we will come and cook, and we won't leave your dishes dirty. We will just come. It is really devastating, right? Now imagine for farmers who are relying on their crops, because our crops, or the crops that we plant in the country as well as largely in Africa, they are rain-fed crops. Yeah, so if the rain is not coming the way it's supposed to be, and we have our produce in the farm, that is going to affect our end produce. The harvest that we're going to get, it won't be bounty. It might be maybe mild or even less than what can even take care of us. So we are worried as farmers. Another thing that will change is the sea water level, and that has an effect because that sense that we had when it's too hot, and then there's enough water. There's a way this water is used now to bring a cooling effect to all of us as well as our plants. Exactly, and also it helps or aids in creating rainfall. Yes, it is a whole lot of science around it, but hey, that is as simple as you can get, right? Right. And now the means, when all these things put together are here where we are, it means, manzi, our agricultural production will go down. And remember, we are still in the fight, or in the on the run, to make sure that we are able to produce food as much as we can, because we need to secure our future, or at least our food security, because it is dire. And then Africa, we are being not we're getting to a point where we are overpopulating, and we're overpopulated because, hey, we have good genes, right? And people are creating, so this people need to be fed. And if we can't feed ourselves annually, then it's logic as to why we're even trying to become more, because the more we are, the more food demand goes high, and if the supply is not met at the same at par with the demand, then kuna shida, there is a problem. Yeah, but hey, it's all right, we will get there. Like I said, it's one day at a time, but we must make sure that we are not retrogressing, but we're progressing. Hmm? Yes, I see you too. And in case you feel like you already have so much that is burning you, and you want to tell me, you can do that on Facebook. We are at A Farmers, and on YouTube, we are at A Farmers Media, and that is how you get us. Leave a comment, leave your opinion, tell me how you feel about it. As a farmer, how is this weather or this climate change affecting you, and how are you coping, because it is a whole lot. Yeah, if you were ulikuwa tegemea, or you were looking forward to the long rains, and then it's already a month, and hey, we don't already have this, where the rain is not here yet, or at least I don't know where it's raining. Maybe it's raining elsewhere, just not in these 5 zones. Yeah, how is it affecting you, and how are you even going to cope with it now? Because now you need the sufficient water. Are you going to rely on boreholes? Are you going to rely on dams? Are there even dams that have still have water, or are you going to use drip irrigation? What are you going to do about it? Kindly let us know, and if we can help you, it'll be our pleasure. Now, going back to this, let us continue talking, or to talk about climate change. And climate change will continue to negatively affect crop production and our food security to the vulnerable communities in the arid and semi arid areas. Yes, now let us talk about Africa being most of the countries being semi arid, arid, and semi arid. Because even in the country, we have counties or regions in the country that are already arid, not even semi arid, they're completely arid. Those guys can't produce food on their own. Yeah, and even the counties or the regions that are producing food, they're being affected by this climate change. So do you see, there'll always be high demand and low supply. That is why we are saying today we need to look at things that we can do, to try and mitigate this problem, because hey, it is a problem, it is here, it is our country, and we need to make sure that everybody is taken care of. Because like I said, if we take care of each other, imagine we will even be able to produce um in other areas. Can you imagine if a whole population is fed? Like I told you, like I keep saying, if a population is fed, it means production goes high, and we are able to support our own economies without waiting for help from outside. But hey, where we are at this time, and where we are going, and how things are going, well, it is just, we can only ask for God, for God's grace. But hey, I believe with the fact that you've been sensitizing the youths to come on board, to be actively involved in farming, as well as calling on the women. Yes, and today is the last day we are celebrating the Women's History Month. But hey, it does not have to stop here. We should be doing it every day, because hey, we need each other, and that is how we lift each other, right? Exactly. But anyway, I digress. Like I was saying, now that you're bringing everyone on board, because we need more of us to be actively involved in producing food, and quality food, and food that is going to be able to sustain us even in the future, because we are looking at food security in the country as well as in the continent. Now, let us move on. Now, climate will likely alter cropping patterns and yields in several regions. Like I've said, most of the regions in Africa as well as the country are semi-arid, and others are completely arid. Yeah, that means they're totally completely dry, and even the soils are not good. They cannot even support too much farming, or even the little farming that people maybe might want to practice. So that leaves a very heavy burden to the rest of the regions that are producing food for the rest of the country, or the countries, or the continent. You see, and that is where we are at. And then now adding changed climate patterns, it totally completely is out of hand, right? But hey, like I said, we will keep looking at how we can help each other, how we can learn, and how we can try and mitigate some of these things, right? And so far so good. You already know some of the things are going to be repeating from yesterday. So if you're paying kid or you're paying it, you were keen about things you talked about yesterday, some of those things you're bound to hear about them. And you know what, we'll not get tired of telling you about them, because everyone needs to hear about them, and we need to be able to operate knowing how to move on. Because instead of talking about why can we not go back and look at things that were done in the past, and we're not saying that everything was perfect, because hey, God knows it wasn't, right? Everything wasn't perfect, but there are things you can borrow. And even right now, the practices that we are carrying forward or carrying on, and the things that you are bringing on board, yeah, digitization and use of the internet space, right? Not everything can will be borrowed or will work, yeah. And if we can be able to borrow a little from then and a little from now and bring them together and and pick, the difference, and work with the difference, can you imagine just how far we could get? Exactly. And some of those things, you will still hear them repeated here, and we will repeat them as often as we can, so that we make sure that you understand the benefits, you understand how to go about it. And like I said, you don't have to start on your own, you don't have to carry this burden on your own. We are here to help you. How you get into contact with us is by going to Facebook at A Farmers, as well as YouTube A Farmers Media, and we will respond to your queries, to your speculations, problems you're having with your crop, with your farm. And if you even want a farm visit, and a helping hand there, and connection to agronomists, as well as other special, you know, specialized information or help in your farm, we are the place to go. And that is how we make or raise a whole generation of farmers. Yeah. And we would love to tell you a story. Now that we know that, let's go back to food. And like I was saying, as the country is faced with hyperpopulation growth, yeah, like I mentioned that earlier, and rapid urbanization, crop production and food security systems need to become more adaptive as uncertainties of projected climate uh, change unfold. Now, earlier this week, we talked about urbanization, right? It's either this week or last week, somewhere in, no, actually it's last week, just on Wednesday, right? We talked about urbanization, right? And just how it is affecting the fact that the all the you know the good, or the, how can we call them, the able-bodied people are leaving, are migrating from the rural areas to urban centers in search for greener pastures, in search for blue collar jobs, in search for an education and a new way of life, right? Because let's be honest, I don't know what can be more tiring, but I know living in the same place and doing the same things over and over is as tiring as it can get. So people want to change. People are looking for a change, right, in their lives, right? And so if you've grown in the rural areas, what do? You migrate to the urban centers, and then the urban centers become populated, and then back at home, guys are not, or the people who are left at home are not able to do much of, the farm work. So what happens? We have a deficit. There's more demand for food and low supply of the same. So what happens? We start converting the lands at home, because they're sitting bare or they're laying bare. We start commercializing them, putting up structures, putting up, like I was saying yesterday. Do you know how ironical it is that if people who are living in the urban centers, yeah, or in the urban cities, when they need a vacation, do you know where they will go? To Nanyuki, to the resorts in Lake Nakuru, the resorts in Lake Naivasha, the resorts in you know these places, and that is where they're going to unwind, and then they're going to go back to town to stay again and become stressed and continue stressing the rest of us. As in, I don't get it. Do you? Because what I've seen in the past, that reveals my age, right? What I've seen in the past is the fact that people leave home, the rural areas, to come to Nairobi or to come to the cities to see trains, to see SGR, to see Two Rivers Mall, as well as the Nairobi Eye, to see or to enjoy the good life in the urban cities. And then once we're done, we go back home. But no, it is vice versa. You can just see how much urbanization is even changing the face of the rural areas. Yeah. So imagine. We now know that there is the cessation of movement, and like I said, sijawahi ona shamba ya kulima Nairobi. If there is none, if there is one, someone needs to take me there. Yeah, and I'm serious. I will take that offer. Yeah, that means people will soon start asking for food from home. And a report just yesterday by food security in the country or in Kenya reported that 74% of the population skipped a meal a day. 74% sio kidogo. Sio kidogo. Mm-mm. In a country where we are about 8 million, it is uh, you understand? Is it 8 million? No, more than that. 15, I think it's around 15. Look, what I'm trying to say is, with all these things, don't you see the burden that we are putting on the people who've been left at home? Can you imagine wanza kumekiwa food yote because we are here, we've been locked huku down, we've left our grandmas, and the elder people at home. Do you think they can be able to meet us halfway with the demand of food that we want? Of course not. And then look at the climate, because I'm sure hadi kwa mvua ifiki as much as it should be. And right now it is the long rains. Exactly. Now you see where we are going. Exactly. Everything is just, nature is overwhelmed. We talked about it yesterday. Nature is overwhelmed. The environment is giving us what we've been giving it all this while, and it is negligent, and it is you know we have not taken care of it, so it is not able to take care of us at this point. And that is why we are at the crossroads that we are at right now. But hey, we'll keep talking about how we can mitigate these problems until we have left no stone unturned. Now remember, you can get into, or you can chime in this conversation, and we are at Our Farmers on Facebook and Our Farmers Media on YouTube. Leave your comment, your opinions, anything you feel like you want to talk to me about. Also, as you give me your reactions to the question that I'm asking, as a farmer, how are you coping with the change in weather patterns? As a farmer, how are you coping with the change in with the change of weather patterns? Like right now, supposed to be long rains, hakuna mvua mingi. Like I said, I've only seen probably 4 times it rain this much, and we're now going to um, April, and I still don't know what we are looking forward to. It is so uncertain. So let me know. Are you a farmer, and how are you coping with this climate change? What have you done different? What are you going to do different? Because now your crops that were in the shamba waiting for the rain probably won't get enough rain or enough water. Let me know, and I will see you on the other side of this break. But in the meantime, between time, have your face mask on and go wash your hands.
majina ni Emmanuel Lelei ama Olelei Lelei kwenye Facebook. Mimi nashughulika na drip installation, na hiyo ndio kazi ambayo tunaifanya. Kwanza kabisa ningependa kuwashukuru African Farmers Club kwa huu wakati ambao wameweza kunialika katika ofisi yao. Ningependa kusema ya kwamba venye nimeweza kualikwa mahali hapa, mimi ningesema ya kwamba itakuwa ni ushirikiano ulio mwema baina ya drip irrigation, Tips Hub na Africa Farmers Club. Nimekuwa nafanya hii kazi kwa muda mrefu. So far niko na 6 years kwa mambo na installation of drip, na kazi yenyewe ni nzuri, ninaipenda. Kitu ambacho ningependa kuwahimiza wananchi, hakuna mtu unaweza ukafanya kitu kama hujaweza kuipenda mwenyewe. So mimi napenda kazi yangu, kazi ambayo naifanya naipenda, na ndio sababu nimeweza kutilia maana ama nimeweza kuweka kinyongo ni kazi ambayo naweza kuifanya ya drip installation. So kazi yetu tunaifanya, na leo nimeweza kupata hii nafasi ya kuweza kuwa pamoja na African Farmers Club. So ukitaka kunipata kwenye mtandao Facebook, utanipata kama Olelei Emmanuel, ama unipate na Olelei drip irrigation tips hub. Kwa Gmail utanipata emmanuel.lei@gmail.com, na kwenye YouTube bado utanipata kama irrigation tips hub. Nambari yangu ya simu kwa wale ambao wanaweza kuwa wanauliza, nambari ya simu ni 0720041484. Ningependa kabisa niweze kuonyesha emitter ni nini na kazi yake na umuhimu wake pia ni nini. Unapoitazama hapa kuna drip line, na utaona ukiangalia kwenye sehemu ya juu kuna sehemu moja iko na hizo shimo ambayo inatoa maji, hiyo tunaita emitters. So maji, wakati wote maji inatokea kwenye hizo emitters, na hiyo emitter ikiweza kuwa uchafu ikiweza kuingia humo ndani haiwezi kutoa hiyo maji. So emitters ni kitu muhimu sana kwa drip line, maana hiyo ndio ina release maji iweza kuenda kwa mmea. So ningependa kueleza tu kama mtaweza kujua wakati unafanya installation ya drip, kama wameinstall shamba yako, make sure unaangalia kila wakati hizo emitters kama zimeangalia juu ama zimeangalia chini. Zikiangalia chini, hapo in the bottom yake kuna na chances ya uchafu. Wakati uko na uchafu kwa tank, ipite kwa filter, ikifika pale itaweza kublock hizo shimo na zitaweza kutoa maji. Number 2, wakati unafanya installation hapa kuna aina moja ya starter connectors, na ambayo sio starter connectors, hii tunaita min valve, ambayo ina uwezo unaweza ukaifunga mwenyewe ama ukaweza kuifungua. Kama unavyoona kuna maji yanatoka, na kuna ambayo ni direct starter connectors. So hii ni mojawapo ya mkulima mwenye anaanza anaweza akatumia kitu kama hii, maana anaweza akacontrol, ama ako na maji kidogo, unaweza ukacontrol wakati umefanya installation yako, unaweza ukacontrol hii maji, maana hii itakuwa na kazi kubwa.
A very good morning to you. How are you doing? And welcome to A Farmer's Media, where we are telling you the story of the African farmer, one story at a time. And this is the breakfast show, and it's a show that comes to you every single day from 8 a.m. all the way to 10 a.m. And my name is Grace Smoothly, and I'm glad you could join us. And a very, very warm welcome to you. If you are tuning in for the first time today, we forgive you. But you know what? You can catch this live feed later in case you missed something. And should you have seen something that you need clarification on any of our programs throughout the day or throughout the week or even last week, do not be shy of getting reaching out to us. We are live on Facebook at eFarmers and also on YouTube at eFarmers Media, and just like that we'll be responding to your queries as well as your concerns, and even holding your hand and walking with you in this journey, like because like I keep saying, you can't just rely on your own knowledge alone. You need to pick so many things from so many farmers. Some are helpful, some are just eye openers, some are warnings, some are just good advice, and you can never go wrong when you do your due diligence and you also get help from other people. It is a community of farming. We need to make that stick. We are a community of farmers, and as soon as we start behaving like that and looking at it from that perspective, we are not going to be able to mitigate what we are trying to mitigate, and that is climate change, first of all, or how to cope even in these times of climate change, as well as the fact that we also need to be able to sustain or grow sustainable food, or sustaining food, or we need to grow too much food that we create a sustainable food security, because hey, we are overpopulated at this point, especially in Kenya and the rest of Africa. And we are now running the risk of starvation, because let's be honest, since the pandemic hit, it has not changed too much. It has just brought about, you know, our unpreparedness in so many things, with our education system, with our health sector, with our agricultural sector, and even in the economy at large, right? And those are our weaknesses, and they also need to be our strong points. But even before COVID came in the country, we were at a place where annually there were regions in this country that they didn't have food or enough food to feed on. Now, add with that pressure, add the pressure of COVID-19, add the pressure of wamefunga shule, add the pressure of the climate change, and you get a disaster, a full-blown disaster. Now, for the near future, and from now to the near future, and for forever, what we are trying to do is mitigate some of these things, because hey, nothing is impossible if we come together, right? Exactly, as farmers. And that is where we are trying to bring the stories, trying to bring or keep you updated with what is happening in the world of agriculture, and even call you to action. Ask you, umefika wapi, umelemewa wapi, unataka usaidizi wapi. Let us talk to each other, let us help each other out, because hey, if our food production is dependent on you and I as farmers, then we need to do more than we are just doing, and we need to take this mantle on. Yeah, exactly. Now, welcome back. And before we get into serious business, let me tell you something about COVID-19. The third wave is here. It's clearing people like wildfire, and it's not funny because it is leaving scores of families injured. Others are battling with the after effects of being left without loved ones, or even losing a breadwinner, or you're the one who's affected, and now you have to live with the repercussions or the effects that you're left, the defects you're left with. There's someone who can't right now never taste anything, or feel the taste of anything, or even smell anything, and we take for granted the simple measures that will keep you and I safe. And I'm getting into the measures just in a little while. Also, remember that you're running the risk of having no oxygen, because now, if you can't breathe on your own, you will need something to assist you breathe, right? And right now, no oxygen in this country. What happens to you? You either try breathing on your own or succumb. And none of the two is better. I'd rather we do the three things, and We save you and we save me. And even imagine all the monies we're going to use for that care and that, medical expense. Surely we can put the money into better use and try to be better farmers, right? Exactly. Now, the three things that have been put across for us to follow, they're really simple, and it's not a case of neither nor, it is a case of do everything completely, and we will get to where we need to be. The first one, do you have a face mask on? Show me, show me. I can see it. You see, that's a problem. You need to put your face mask on every single day, every time you leave your house, 8 hours a day. Hadi rudi kwa hao, yeah? And make sure it's a clean one, and what is supposed to be disposed, dispose it carefully. The second thing is washing your hands. Make sure you can access a hand washing point at all times if necessary, but if you can't, sanitizing will be a better alternative. The alternative, yes, the other thing we need to do is maintain physical distance between you and the other person of about 1.5 to 2 meters at all given times, unless you're in your house within your 4, 6, 8 walls. You have no business being outside. And hey, if you don't have to go outside, don't go. Stay at home. Do you know what a privilege it is to work in your pajamas at home? Do you? Now that there's rain, it is raining, it's very, very cold out here. Do you? Should I remind you? Anyway, if you have that privilege, please stay at home and take care of yourself. Take care of your loved ones. Let me take care of myself, the people around me. And like that, we raise a community where this virus will have not a chance of survival. And like that, we will have flattened the curve. I would love for us to go back to where we were in January, where we even saw kids going back to school. That was a happy moment for me. I even did a happy dance. I don't know how to dance, but I did a happy dance. I can see that.